Cash spurts to cash flow. Tonight, we are talking about monitoring company cash flow for your business to grow. You don't want to miss tonight's show. Stay tuned.
Our goal is simple: to help you achieve the dream and vision you first had when you thought about starting a business. We're here to make growing your business less complicated. There are building blocks to build a sustainable business. We promise to seek them out and address them all. The Better Your Business Show starts now.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of the Better Your Business Show. I am Natalie, your host, and my partner in crime, the coach for business herself, Miss Shanna Mavis.
Hey.
Hey. Tonight, we are talking monitor company cash flow for your business to grow. And I am very much looking forward to this conversation. I'm excited about all that I'm going to learn, but even our pregame I thought was fabulous. Katie brought so much value, so I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I liked about her when I was talking to her. I know that she's got like this specialty in business credit, but when she started talking about cash flow, it was like, we have the perfect episode for you, right? We knew that this was something that a lot of business owners struggle with, that they don't understand the importance of. And I kept, as I was doing research, I kept coming across phrases that were like super serious. It's the lifeblood of your business, it's lifeline, the engine. So there's this necessity for business owners to really understand the impact of not monitoring your cash flow, making sure that you understand what that really means. And it's basic, right? It's a simple concept, but so many of them don't understand it that they're struggling. They're up at night. Their businesses are failing as a result of it. That's cited as one of the main reasons that businesses fail. Not just the failure rate itself, but a high percent of them are just like, ran into cash flow issues, couldn't pay. So, definitely diving into this with Katie and the understanding on, from her perspective as a business credit expert and the cash flow side of things, just her perspective as, a business owner and, just the knowledge that she's amassed. I'm excited to hear a lot of what she has to say on the topic.
Yeah. Well, and even just coming out of the pandemic, right? There's so many people that could have used that extra money. We went to dinner with family Tuesday night. There was like 12 of us that got together. Sam's brother had come in from New York. And I hadn't seen my nephew for a while. He's a fireman, but he had opened before the pandemic a gym. And, obviously they were closed down during the pandemic, but he didn't lose his building. And then actually after they were able to start opening again, he went to open a second gym. But what he said was, I still haven't been able to pay myself. Right. Yeah. So that's been the challenge of it. It's like, okay, we're growing, and then I'm just thinking about, again, what Katie said at pregame. I was like, dang, I just completely get it in a different way now. So I think to myself, want an extra 50 grand or whatever, this is what you got to do. Pay yourself
now. Well, are we ready to bring her in?
Sure. Yes, let's get into it. This is a great topic. So we have Katie Novak here. She has been with J. Galt. She's been in B2B and marketing for over a decade now. And so, Katie, thank you for joining us. We're thrilled that you're here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. So why don't we just kind of start with, hey, I'm a business owner. Should I even consider looking at do I just look at making money? Should I consider other avenues? What should I do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think first and foremost, it's so important as a business owner to truly follow your passion because if you are not doing something that you truly love every single day, you're not going to stick with it. And so I think, that's priority number one. But obviously, we all have to make a living, right? And so, best case scenario is if we get to do something we love and we're making money doing something that we love. And so, on the topic of cash flow, making sure that we have the cash flow to pay ourselves out is super, super important.
I love that you said doing what you love because I feel like that's been my song and dance for like the last year or so. And everyone kind of thinks I'm crazy, but I think exactly what you said. If we're going to be investing all of our time in it, I hear so many entrepreneurs saying, oh, I'm not disciplined. I have to work on my discipline. And I think, well, is it that you're not disciplined or you don't really want to do it? Because if you were passionate about it, the discipline would follow, right? So I love that you mentioned that because I do think that's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not excited to wake up every single day and do, and work on your business, you probably shouldn't be doing
Yeah,
it.
pick something else.
I'm not
What
saying
do you
there's
do
not going to
for
be
free?
challenges, right? And days where you're like, oh my gosh, this is going on, or I have this fire to put out. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in general, wake up and be excited about the day, and you should be able to pay yourself for doing something that you love. So that's why I love business owners and entrepreneurs so much because they have that drive to do that.
Yes. So, how does someone know if they have business credit? Is it, hey, I started a business, I have business credit. How do you know if you have business credit?
Awesome question. So there's actually three types of credit. We have personal credit, which automatically comes at 18 years old, or ready or not. And they'll track all your purchases and give you a credit score. Business credit comes next. Business credit is a combination of utilizing your entity, your EIN, and your personal credit. So basically using your personal credit as a cosigner for your business to help get more funds for your business. But you are a cosigner, you're using your social security number or your assets to help fund your business. Third, we have corporate credit. Corporate credit is where you are using your EIN and you have credit strictly based off the fact that you've built credit for your EIN alone. And most business owners are kind of in that middle ground where they're using only their personal credit, or maybe they're, using your business credit, but they're still co-signing for their business and using their personal credit. So knowing if you have business credit, you can go to Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax, just like there's consumer credit bureaus, there's the business side of those bureaus as well. You can look at your reports. We actually can help pull reports for you, but you just look and see what's reporting to business credit bureaus and see what lines you have open, and that's how you would know if you have established business credit.
So essentially, you're putting your EIN number in instead of your social security number and getting feedback based on that. Is that correct?
So with business credit, you
Yeah.
use your EIN and your social security number. With personal credit, just your social security number. With corporate credit, it's just your EIN.
Okay. Perfect. So, and I really wanted to say this, and you had this on your LinkedIn, and I dropped the ball on it. So I thought this was just such a good definition of what this does. It helps business owners leverage EIN to get credit and funding without the need to use their social security number, right? So that's awesome. And now the next thing that goes in my head is my personal credit sucks. So that I can use business credit, right? People might be thinking that. Is that the truth? How does that work?
Yeah. So, a lot of business owners fall into that pitfall because what happens is they're bootstrapping their business, they're using their personal credit to help fund their business, and so their credit drops because you're looking at higher debt to income ratios, maybe running into cash flow issues, to not be able to mitigate those issues, right, and help raise your credit score. And so lots of business owners run into credit score problems, right? There are those always the exceptions that don't. But even if your personal credit score is not quite where you want it to be, that doesn't mean that you can't start growing and leveraging business credit and then eventually corporate credit to help grow your business. Because, when you have somebody on your team that can help advise you, okay, you may not be able to go get this credit card because of where your personal credit is at right now, but let's start with this financial institution, help you open trade lines and maybe credit cards or lines of credit that will grant you some form of business credit, even with your personal credit where it's at. Then we can begin to build and grow that business credit and in turn your corporate credit profile. So the need to use your corporate or your personal credit will lessen and lessen as you grow your business credit and then eventually enter into that realm of corporate credit where you're only having to use your EIN.
Fascinating.
So what about those business owners that are just getting started? So pre-launch, let's talk about those, because what I'm hearing is that we need to make sure that we have business credit. It's not just about cash flow, right? You've said that, and we all understand that there may be times that cash flow is compromised or challenged, stretched. That there's not as much cash flowing in as flowing out, and how you can leverage business credit. So I get that we definitely want to make sure all business owners understand that you need both, right? Business credit and to monitor and manage your cash flow, healthy cash flow. But if I'm just getting started, what steps can I take or should I be taking to establish business credit so that it's kind of in parallel, recognizing I'm starting personal regardless, but how do I begin to build that when I don't even really have a fully formed company yet? I don't have all that I need.
I love that question because we all have to start somewhere, right? And that's one of the biggest questions and one of the biggest reasons why people don't start a business is because they can't figure out how to get started, right? And so I think the most important piece is just to make sure all of your foundational elements are in place for your business, that you're registered correctly with the Secretary of State, that your business phone number is set up and registered accurately, that your address is set up accurately with the Secretary of State, that your website URL and your email domain match, right? There's all of these things that will help prove to financial institutions that you are a proper registered business. And even having just those things in order, you are way more likely to get funded and appear fundable to those financial institutions when those foundational things are in place. So it's important to have good resources that you can fall back on to help ensure that those things are in place, because that will help give you a jump start. Because if your address is off or if your phone number is not registered correctly, the chances of you even getting that little bit of credit to start drop dramatically. So having that foundation in place is the first place to start. And then also making sure you get creative with using your resources, right? Figure out how to mitigate some of the need for cash or equipment to start by getting creative with your resources and your network. You would be super surprised at how the people in your network can actually help you, even without the having that influx of cash. You can really get creative with ways to get started and bootstrap just about anything. So make sure you have a foundation in place and make sure you're leveraging your network to help you get started.
Interesting. So, sorry, I lost my question. I'm going to pull back up the.
Happens to the best of us.
I know, right?
Okay, so how do you, I guess when I'm looking at still cash flow and making sure that business owners get a really good understanding of what that means, at the heart of it, it's just the income and expenses, the flow of cash and cash equivalent through your business, right? I've got this much money in revenue coming in. I've got all of these expenses or equipment coming out. So how do I guess it's making sure that one, they understand that, but then two, that business credit, we talk about leveraging it. And when I think it was pre-show that you were talking about real estate agents or Natalie might have brought it up. they're not using their own money. The shows that you were talking about, they're not using their own money to fund these projects. What they're doing is leveraging other people's money. So why would we, as just your average ordinary business owner, not think that if we're aspiring to be in that stage, that fortune company or that highly recognized, HGTV show or whatever it is, why would we not think that we would need to follow that same type of path? Or that at least consider that instead of feeling like I've got to bootstrap this the entire way or seek funding here or just get a business credit card, a card that has my business name on it. Why wouldn't we start thinking about, hey, we need to access capital. And in order to do that, I'm going to need to make sure that I have all my ducks in a row. And that part of that is making sure that you have a very well established, and solid business credit history, that it is separate, a bona fide business, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. I would say, let's see, what's the study? US Bank did a study that said 82% of business owners fail due to cash flow issues. And that is just devastating, right? But think about it. There are so many different reasons why you can run into cash flow issues. There we go. Paying suppliers, marketing, not being able to take advantage of more opportunities. Let's take a roofer, for example. He's trying to grow his business. He's trying to take on more jobs, but he has to front the material and labor for those jobs. If he's already extended himself, if he doesn't have the cash flow to be able to take on those jobs, he can't grow and extend his business. And so being able to rely on, maybe a line of credit that's not tied to him personally is going to do wonders for helping him get those jobs where he wouldn't have been able to otherwise, by leveraging that line of credit, just helping to kind of mitigate those cash flow issues. In the real estate example, making sure that you are utilizing your business expenses properly to build your corporate credit can help get you more favorable rates and terms, better reward programs, all sorts of the world of funding opens up to you. You get to go to the bank and say, hey, I need this. The bank down the street is offering me these rates and terms. What can you do for me? When you've established that profile, that corporate credit, it just allows you to utilize that, the line of credit more efficiently and help, again, mitigate those cash flow issues so that you can maintain and or grow your business.
So how does it work? Let's just say that I'm like, hey, I want to see, Katie, I want an extra 50 grand, I have this little venture on the side I've been doing, and I want to focus all my attention there. Do I just go to you? You see if I can qualify, or what are the things that I need to even put in place first? Because like earlier, honestly, you said business 411. I was like, what's business 411? And I can't be alone on that, right? So
You're not.
No, absolutely.
Right? So,
absolutely.
How does that work? And then we just have an established relationship. People are paying you like a retainer fee, or, how does that all work?
Great question. So really what it's about is just making sure if, I own and manage a practice with Jay Galt. I'm a regional managing partner for them. And obviously I'm biased. We're the best in the business, right? But what happens is you have to build that foundation like I was talking about, right? You have to make sure that you appear fundable to the financial institutions. That's the first step. And there's 125 different data points, roughly, that have to be in order for you to even appear fundable to financial institutions, right? So when you're onboarded with Jay Galt, we would get all of those ducks in a row, right? And then we help make sure that you're transitioning your business expenses and what you're paying for in your everyday business life over from financial institutions that are not reporting and building your corporate credit profile to financial institutions that do report to your, the corporate credit bureaus or the business credit bureaus. And that's important because only about 7% of financial institutions in the US will actually report to the business credit bureaus good credit behavior. They'll all report the bad behavior,
Wow.
right? But only 7% will actually report good business credit behavior to the business credit bureaus, because they're different, the personal and the business credit bureaus, right? And so we help business owners, with the help of a credit analyst, identify where to shift their spending, which institutions to shift their spending over to. And then we help them monitor and pull their credit so that they can understand where they're at, so they can reach what we call top tier corporate credit, which allows them to get funding and financing unsecured, without having to use their social security number or their personal assets, solely using their EIN, when they eventually reach that top tier. So that's kind of what the process on the very high level overview looks like. Obviously, there's other things.
And is
that we
it
can
a
do.
one-time fee that
Yep.
you?
It's
Okay.
just a one-time fee. And then we have a money back guarantee.
Okay.
And if we don't help you get to top tier corporate credit, then you don't pay it. But we haven't had to pay it out yet. So,
Awesome.
you know, we do a really good job.
So this process takes time, right? And I guess I want to make sure that while it's worth it, I mean, you need to go through it, and you're going to go through it, right? If you're trying to build any type of company that's beyond you want to grow beyond being a solopreneur, beyond the mom and pop stage. And there's nothing wrong with those, right? But there are people that have bigger dreams. So you're going to have to take the time to go through the process. And I think I love that David would always say, it took you, so many years to get into this mess. Why are you thinking that it would, all of a sudden it's going to be overnight that you're going to get out of this, or that you're going to build that same type of, credit for your business. It takes time. Recognizing that it doesn't help me in the now. I know that I'm building toward this. So are there any strategies that you've employed, or Natalie, that you've employed that will help with those cash flow issues? How can I, while I'm doing all of the steps that need to be done, what can I do right now that helps improve my cash flow situation, so I'm not one of the 82%, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just very, very important to track and manage your resources. I mean, it's as simple as that. And we help with a cash flow mapping software that helps these business owners really track everything that's coming in, everything that's going out, helps plan for the unexpected, right? But, even if you don't have a resource like a cash flow mapping software, making sure that you're working with your CPAs or your bookkeepers, or if you're doing everything yourself, making sure that you're tracking every penny and setting some money aside for the unexpected can really just be a great start in helping you to mitigate cash flow issues. And
Sounds
so
like
many
a
people,
budget.
yeah,
Everyone
absolutely.
gets mad because I always talk about that, and they're like, "You don't get paid to help people with their budgets." So if people don't have money to save to invest, I don't have a job, right? So that budget matters. Yeah, there's your hedge. Pay attention to where your money's going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, how are you going to allocate money to marketing if you don't know where it's going to come from, right? How are you going to get that new job if you don't know how you're going to pay for materials and labor? How are you going to buy a bunch of t-shirts to print if you don't know where your next job is coming from, right? And so being able to track and manage that cash flow is just one of the key pieces, and something that we focus on at J. Galt because it's such an important part of the process. But even aside from that, should be a priority for every business owner, small, large, of all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, because then again, too, just makes me think you're going back to that inconsistency. I have a friend right now who's starting his business again for the third time, and that's exactly why it keeps stopping. It's because he keeps running out of money, and he still hasn't grasped the fact that the challenge is he just keeps throwing money at everything, hoping things will stick, hoping something will be the right thing or take off. He hasn't learned yet that that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to work really hard, get enough money to start it up again. And so that's what he does. But it's the cycle of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what corporate credit does, is it breaks the cycle, right? Once you start building that corporate credit, yes, With Jay Galt in our process, we guarantee top tier corporate credit within 1 year. However, I mean, you could potentially try and do it yourself. Time is money, right? And we can have that discussion. But you can start helping yourself do small things that will get you in a more favorable position to where you do have a little bit of credit, do have a little bit of cash flow to help you make those small steps, and then when you're ready to really start, growing, and when you're ready to make sure that you have no cash flow issues, that's when you take building your corporate credit seriously, because that corporate credit would help your friend mitigate those cash flow issues. Let's take a landscaper, for example, especially in Texas, maybe up, Michigan, northern states, right? They're going to be able to survive through the winter by, shoveling snow, right? But down in Texas, there's not a whole lot of snow to shovel. And so how's a landscaper going to survive through the slower winter months? Well, they're going to be doing the, once a month mowings. But if they have a line of credit and they have mapped out their cash flow correctly, they're able to mitigate those issues and then come back strong in the spring and the summer and keep growing and growing and growing from there. So just another example of how credit mitigates the cash flow issue.
So good.
Katie's got an answer for everything.
I try. May not be the best answer, but we give it our best.
I know. I had another question, then I lost it again because I got so into the story that you were telling. My brain's like, oh, another strategy. Oh, I know what I was going to say is, you talked about you could try to do this on your own. I don't work for Jay Galt, but I would recommend to everybody, don't try to do this on your own. There's just, first off, it's a huge rabbit hole to try to go down. There's so many different ways that you can do things and so many different opinions. You can end up going this way and that way, and just, you should just really, it's worth investing the time into a professional to make sure it gets done. Otherwise you can just be, spinning your wheels on this. Get with a professional, do it done correctly, go through the process. It's going to be faster for you anyway, right? So
yes,
make an investment in your business.
And that's the take that I have on it too, because if you're spending the time trying to do everything it takes to build your business credit, then who's running your company? What's not getting done? And let's say that we're under that, and it's not a false assumption that many solopreneurs turn small business owners, they are wearing so many of the hats in their business, but you're never trying to take them off. You're piling more on instead of saying, okay, if I can come over here and I can meet up with a Katie, and let her help me at best, guide me through so that I'm not trying to learn. And I think you've said it, and I've heard others say YouTube University. I'm trying to learn all of the steps it takes for me to build my business credit score up to, whatever I'm going to. And I think it's max 100 or something like that. So it's really, what do I need to do to get this in order for me to get equipment, in order for me? And it really is, what you need to be focused on is, what are we doing with that? How are we going to be generating revenue with this piece of equipment that I feel like I absolutely have to have, that I need, to now increase my business credit score? Well, if you cannot possibly handle all of these things at the same time. That's why there are people like you. That's why there are people like Natalie, people like me, that have an understanding. You're going to need that team. And even if it's just for these short bits of time, some of us aren't designed to be with you for your entire business life. We are here for that season of, for me, seed to startup, Natalie with her financial expert, and then the, learning from her about key man policies and, just different things that will help your business. And then you with the business credit aspect. And I've met, other business credit experts too, where it's just like, there's a reason that we specialize in these areas and can help these small businesses become, those larger businesses, like you said, the Wall Street, playing in that same playground, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. And like going back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, if you don't love it, if you're not passionate about it, what are the chances that you're going to get up and be excited about doing it and actually complete it
Yeah.
and follow through with it? So find somebody that's passionate about business credit. Find somebody that's passionate about financial planning or helping you start up your business, and utilize those resources, because leveraging those people and leveraging your network, that's how you're going to get the most out of your time. And your money, really. Time is money. And so if you're spinning your wheels trying to learn something that, how long is it going to impact your business, and what are you doing? You could be spending that time learning a new skill or something else that can help you actually grow your business. Leave the other stuff to the experts, if you will. So yeah, I love that you brought that up for sure.
Well, all right. Okay. So I'm trying to do too many things at once. But I would like to take just a quick moment and, excuse me, do the Just Good Business segment.
Sounds awesome.
So we've got a company, and it's interesting. I have to give shout out to Sharon Miller, the Google gal. Because of her, I updated my Google business profile, and it's still not great, right? She would be mad if anyone looked at it and thought that was her work. It was not. But I did enough to, I guess, become noticed by someone. But what happened is that I ended up more noticing them. He started talking to me about his nonprofit and the heart behind it. It's called Children of the Carbon Sun, and I'll bring up their website in just a moment. But he doesn't want to see anyone else going through some of the same struggles that he went through when he can do something about it. And so that really stood out to me, that again, it's purpose beyond profit. It's really looking and saying, how can I serve a group of people? How can I change lives? How can I change the world? And with just what I've got, right? And so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and share their website, and that way if you get a chance and can start or look into them, see if you want to donate, if it resonates with you. They are in Texas, which just happened to be coincidentally, I guess. Let me pull this up so you guys can see who they are. Children of the Carbon Sun. Entire screen. Check. Okay. Hopefully it'll. Okay, there we go. So I love this, but I'm going to go ahead and go over to the About Us part, because this is where he's talking about a story, nonprofit organization in Addison, Texas, just recently founded, focused on improving the literacy skills of high-risk youth from pre-K to third grade. Their mission is making sure that today's children are the leaders of tomorrow, and they want to empower them by providing that nurturing environment for children to reach and fulfill their potential. He talks about how they make a difference, but there was something, I think I have to find this so that you'll get the full picture. Oh, why this mission? Why is this my mission? Prison planners, in whom are unknown, determine how many future prisoners that will be incarcerated based on third grade reading scores. This statistic is 85% accurate. 66.3% of African American, 61.2% Latino Spanish, 24% Caucasians fall victim to this statistic. So 80% of inmates are dropouts, and 78% of inmates cannot read on a fourth grade level. All of these inmates were once kids who fell victim to a statistic that is created within a system that was never meant for our kids to succeed. So that was when I saw that, that's what really stood out to me about, this. And he was just so open about this mission. And so it was just like, if I can bring light to that. And this was just like 2 days ago that I learned about that organization. So I just thought it was well worth bringing up. To me, Just Good Business, Children of the Carbon Sun, you hit it, purpose beyond profit.
That was awesome. I love it. I don't know, Shannon Mavis. I think maybe there's some stuff going on here with you and books. I did go to the grant you talked about last week too, so I'll tell
Oh,
you more of that later. But yes, so
okay.
everybody, welcome back. We are talking about monitoring your company cash flow for your business to grow. We're having an awesome conversation with Katie from J Galt, and we are talking about leveraging your EIN number and leveraging other people's money to grow your business, to withhold the tough times, and really understanding how does it work. Shannon, why are you laughing?
Oh, because I'm still in Oregon and my friends, I'm in their house and I'm upstairs. And one of the times the last time I was here, they scared me. Someone came into the house and I'm upstairs with the dog who's very, very tiny, like a pocket-sized dog. And so all I hear is rustling downstairs. And so I was talking about how I was looking around for weapons. And so they're about to leave. And so she brought me over this, hunting knife so that I would have a weapon. So in any case, that's what's going on over here.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't like muted or
Yeah.
something.
No. Sorry about that. It cracked me up when she came and put that beside me. And then the tiny dog is right here by the heater. So
Awesome.
I love working from home and the digital era because it humanizes us. It helps when we're in the office and at work. People they can see our personality, but they don't see kids running through in the background as you're trying to have a serious conversation, or your friend coming in to scare you and not realizing you were doing a podcast or whatever it is that you were doing, right? And so I think it's such a beautiful thing that we get to add that human element into business. So.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you appreciated it. I don't know how many other people will, but I'm glad y'all did because I couldn't help myself. Okay, so yes, Natalie, I know I think I cut you off because I am not very good at this. Okay, see, they didn't even leave. She just came back up here.
Dog it. It's so funny how much the dogs love you. I was like, get away from me. And of course, they always want to be by her. It's so funny. So
Okay, sorry. Back to cash flow. So I do want us to continue talking about this and business credit and leveraging both for a healthy business, because that's the conversation I want to make sure that we're having, is that business owners recognize that it's not just about success for this moment, right? It's not just whatever my measure of success. It's not just about, ooh, I made it through this first year. It's about my successors saying, this company's still going. We've weathered a lot of these storms. We've done what it takes in order to build this sustainable company. It is making sure that you've got that foundation set up. So a lot of that is going to rely on having a healthy financial foundation for your business. And that goes beyond just the cash flow piece of it. It goes to that business credit side as well. We have to factor in things like that nasty B word Natalie said, budget. No, but it's so important, and it's something that if we don't early on establish these practices that will lead us in the right direction, it's so much more costly in time and money to try to undo some of these things that if we just started at the beginning.
Yep. No, you're totally right. Actually, the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor at GEM, they reported that 70%, I think it was 70% of businesses with inadequate financing fail within the first 3 years. So aside from, credit, aside from cash flow, making sure that you have a strong financial foundation is key to ensuring your business's survival. Whatever your goals are. If your goal is to retire on a beach somewhere and sell off your business in 10, 20 years, great. If your goal is to, leave a lasting legacy for your kids and pass down the business to your kids, great. But regardless of what your end goal is, all of these pieces of the puzzle have to be put together, and you have to have a strong financial foundation for you to be able to reach those goals.
Yeah.
What do you see the number one mistake or the number one challenges besides cash flow? I guess that would be number one, or that they make when it comes to this area.
I think just lack of information and lack of resources. That's the biggest challenge. You said it, Shanna, YouTube University. So many of us are relying on YouTube University for help with, how do we get our business going? And, well, there's some amazing stuff, and I've learned a bunch of stuff from YouTube. I'm not saying that there's anything bad with that. But again, why wouldn't you leave it up to experts and to, find additional resources that will help you truly maximize the time you're spending on that education to help you further your growth? And one of the problems with, say, business credit, for example, there's hardly any good information online about building corporate credit. You might find some information about Dun & Bradstreet, and, again, they might tell you to buy overpriced toilet paper from Uline so that you can build your corporate credit. And that might work for some businesses, right? That might very well be a good way to build credit for some businesses. But for, a t-shirt printing business or a roofer, that's probably not going to be the best way to build corporate credit, right? So if that's your only avenue and your only resource to help you get that information, then you're going to struggle. And again, it's not just corporate credit. It's, financial planning, budgeting. How do I structure my business? How do I get the most out of my investment? How do I make sure my P&Ls are in order, right? So I think that's the biggest challenge, really, is lack of information and resources.
Yeah. So I know when we were talking, I think it was at pregame, I was talking about how my nephew had his gym that he started and made it through. But that was one of the biggest things that shifted for him now. It just made me think about the conversation is now he has people in there that are doing exactly those things. And it's just really causing a different level of awareness for him too, because sometimes when we're in the game, we're just in this, I got to move forward. I got to keep moving forward. I have people to pay. I got, things to do. We're not slowing down to actually take the time to go through those statements or maybe look at things from a different perspective. And he said that's been a game changer for him, is having those people come in now. Now he feels more peace. Now he can breathe. Now he can start to pay himself after all these years. It just makes me wonder how many of us are in that situation. And if we just would stop for a second and have somebody come in and take another look at things. I mean, I see it all the time in financial planning, but how fast things could shift for us. I mean, I've had tons of people come to me thinking I've messed up, I can't retire. And I'd be like, hey, we can retire you in the next 48 hours. We just got to shift a couple things, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I know we've got Fitzroy here, and I'm ready for the game. And Katie, I'd love for you to stay with us and play, but I do have another question, and then we want to get into like that more practical advice before we transition out into fun time. So if I'm having cash flow issues, should I be going for business credit? I mean, that has to be paid back.
good question.
I love that question. As with all credit, you have to be able to borrow and pay responsibly, because if you don't borrow and pay responsibly, there we go, then it's just going to hurt you, not help you, right? And so it's all about leveraging credit in the correct way and utilizing tools, resources, and people and experts that are going to be able to help you leverage that in the right way. Even if you have to start super small, a few $100 a month, a few $1,000 a month, as long as you're leveraging that correctly, it is only going to benefit you, because the more you can prove that you can borrow and pay responsibly, that's what builds your credit. And that's what helps you get access to more and more and more credit. And then as long as you're planning out your cash flow correctly and working with experts that are going to help you on this journey, it will only benefit you. So yes, it is going to be in your benefit.
Very cool.
Good question. Are we ready for
All
J
right. Yes. Before we do that, Katie, can you give us like 3 tips or tricks or something practical that business owners can do today, right? When in line with thinking about strengthening cash flow or managing cash flow or building business credit, give us something practical that we can use.
The first thing I would say is don't do it alone. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with resources, whether it be networking groups, friends, people that are going to be able to help you. One of my favorite books that I've ever read is Think and Grow Rich. And, he talks about building your mastermind group. And that's just as important in your personal life as it is with business. And so don't do it alone. That's one of the first things that I would say. The second thing that I would say is just fortune favors the bold. You're never going to accomplish anything unless you go for it. So go for it. Be responsible about it, right? But really, just you're never going to know unless you try. And then the third thing that I would say is just make sure you are passionate about what you're doing, because that, as long as you're passionate about it, you will find a way to make it work. You're not going to get up and get out of bed for something that isn't going to, make you happy and make you tick. So make sure that you're working towards that, and you will inevitably be successful with the right resources.
Love it.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I recommended that book last week too, Katie. Thanks for validating that. I was like, yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, you got to get the old version, the original version, not the reprinted, redone version. But yes, I mean, just life-changing book for me, honestly.
It is. Definitely. That's definitely in my top 2 or 3 for sure. All right. So it's time for some fun. We got It's Your Boy Fitzroy in the house with us. Fitzroy, you've been holding out on us. Holding out. You've been out fighting crime, wrestling on the weekends.
Yes. I've been getting beat up actually. So, but okay. So I have a little change to top 5 this week. So what we're gonna do is, like always, I'm gonna name a subject. You guys are gonna play Family Feud style, which means only one of you answers a question at a time. All right. And so basically, I'm going to have 10 answers. If you guys get 5 of the 10 correct, you beat the quiz master and win. But if you get 3 incorrect answers, then you lose. We know we all get the rules of the game.
What do we win?
You win my eternal gratitude and my
It's right after 20 years of friendship. I hope I have that. But yes, I'll let you take me out to lunch. That sounds perfect.
Okay, we can do that. Yes. Okay, the subject for today is going to be, what are the least expensive restaurant franchises? So if someone wants to become a business owner and buy a franchise, what are the least expensive franchises?
Does that include fast food?
Hey, I buzzed it.
Yes, only food-related franchises. Yes, Shay, go ahead, go right ahead. What's your first answer?
I know that I'm not playing against the other team, right? That we're all on the same team. I recognize that, but I wanted you guys to know that I am serious about this Family Feud thing. Okay, I had one hand behind my back.
I know.
I had the other there. Okay, no, in real life. Okay, I'm going with Subway.
Subway is one of the answers. Yes.
Good answer, Shanna.
Hey, pass or play. Pass or play. Pass or play.
Answer. Pass or play.
We're gonna play. We're gonna play. We're gonna play. We're gonna play.
All right, Katie. How about you go next?
It's funny that you said Subway because I was thinking Jimmy John's.
Ooh.
Jimmy John's.
Good
Not
answer.
in
Good
the
answer.
top 10. Good answer, but no.
Oh, okay.
All right, Natalie, what about you?
I'm gonna say Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel, not in the top 10. No.
Really?
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. All right.
All
It's on
right.
you.
That's
2
two.
strikes, ma'am. What do you got?
Come on, Shanna.
Okay. 10 franchises, cheapest franchises to get into. I'm gonna go with Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is one of them.
Oh, that was my
Uh,
second answer too.
all right, Katie.
Do you know how much it costs?
Oh, yes, I do have the
Did it tell you?
numbers. So Taco Bell, 25,000 and 5.5% royalties for Taco
Yeah.
Bell.
Interesting.
Cool. Oh man, pressure's on.
Yeah,
Not like
Katie.
Subway, but I don't know.
Not a big deal, but it's
yeah,
all
not
on
a
your
huge
shoulders.
deal.
Yeah,
Not a huge
exactly.
deal, it's fine.
Nothing at all.
What about like a Smoothie King, like a smoothie shop?
Ooh.
Smoothie King, no, not in the top 10.
Burn.
So the top 10, some of these I did not even hear about, so that's why I did top 10. But number 10 was, or rather is Quiznos. Number
Quiznos.
Oh,
Okay, no,
Quiznos. Yeah, I can't
I
believe
thought
those are
about
even still
y'all.
around.
Have y'all
Wow.
never seen how the game is played? We all have to shout the answers after he shouts them. It's like,
Oh.
Quiznos.
They are country because they toast them.
Yeah.
For anybody home.
Okay.
Quiznos Taco Bell was 9. You guys got that. Oddly enough, Papa John's is 8.
Whoa.
Baskin
Pizza.
Robbins is 7.
Huh.
Wingstop is 6.
Oh, wow. Wingstop.
Firehouse Subs. I'm surprised because they're pretty pricey. Have you guys ever gone to Firehouse Subs?
No.
No? Okay. Well,
I
that's their
have.
number 5. You have Subway's number 4, 15. Little Caesars is number 3.
Oh, pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza. Number 2 is Gyroville. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Gyroville. I haven't.
Mediterranean, I'm assuming. Euro.
Yeah, that's my guess. Gyro?
Euroville.
Gyro?
Yeah.
Euroville.
And I
Yeah.
haven't heard of
I wanna go
Euroville
there.
either.
And the least expensive franchise to get into is Chester's Chicken.
Huh.
I've never been to Chester's Chicken.
I've only ever seen that. I mean, I've only ever seen them in like gas stations. I don't
I
know
was
that I've
gonna
seen a
say,
standalone Chester's Chicken.
I think I ate at a Chester's Chicken in Texas at a gas station.
Oh, really? I've never seen
And
a
what's funny
Chester's
is
Chicken.
because Sam loves fried chicken. He would never, like, he's so funny, but yeah, he wanted to get chicken from a gas station one time, which was very odd for my husband, and I think it was a Chester's Chicken.
That's dangerous on a road trip, y'all.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is if you know my husband, it just seems very out of character for him. I would stop and get fried chicken from someplace off the wall, but not him. So it was I was like, oh, okay, this must be
I was gonna say, are you
really good.
pawning this off on Sam? Because this sounds like a Natalie move.
I know, right? I was like,
Oh
well, I'm
my
excited to try this chicken. Not as good as yours, I'm sure, Shannon. Not as good as yours.
It isn't. I will do a blind taste test against Chester's any day. Bring it, Chester's. Bring it. Okay. And then, hey, you guys, I'll let you know if I get an email or a call from Chester's. I'll let you know if they.
Okay. Yes.
Better your business cook
I'll
off.
come to Texas for that one, Shanna. I will come to Texas.
Okay. Fitzroy. Thank you. Thank you for the
course.
game.
Thank you for inviting me on.
Yes. I'm crying over here. I'm crying.
We're going to miss you. And come back, even if we corrected your gyro.
I will come back.
Okay, and
Awesome.
Katie,
Yes.
you are amazing. Thank you so much
Mhm.
for bringing your wisdom and knowledge and just the fun um, for the game. This was really interesting, and I think it's not just fascinating for us, but it's something that all business owners really need to know.
Mhm.
So thank you so
Yes.
much for sharing the stories and
Yes.
just everything.
Definitely. And
Absolutely.
then her calendar link is in the comments. We put it on the screen throughout the show so you can schedule time with her. Also, her website's there, so you can go to her website, just learn more about what she does, learn more about the company, learn more about what she does. But what I would tell you is just like Katie says, fortune favors the bold. Just you don't know if you don't get out there and see. It's always a no until you try. So go. I mean, you could turn around tomorrow. Katie could be putting an extra 50 grand in your pocket. You don't know. So go and see if you qualify. So, all right, Katie, thank you so
Love it.
much.
Thank you guys so much. So happy to be here. I really appreciate it. And I love that we're bettering businesses everywhere. Thanks for your mission,
Yes.
y'all.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. All right. Woohoo.
Okay. We got some grants to go over. Okay, but this requires me to navigate multiple screens again, which I can do,
You got it, Shanna.
but it's
You got it. ID
just
Systems is
testing.
having a
Just
launch, so Carlton's not here tonight, so Shanna's running the front
yeah, I'm
and the back.
excited to. Okay, I'm gonna add it to the stage. Here we go. All
All
right.
right.
So this is the first grant that I wanted to talk about. It's Giving Joy. This is just a micro grant, but through its micro grants and mentorship program, they help women establish or improve their businesses and initiatives. What they do, I'll come over here real quickly as my system will allow. I think they're $50 or $500 for the grants. So women ages 18 and up from any country in the world. That was one of the things that I liked about. So while they're small, there's no restrictions. Women 18 and up. Well, I say that no restrictions beyond women ages 18 and up. They're not restricting state or region. It's international, everything. So I really liked that about that. And then I've got one more grant. I want to pull it up before I show it so that I minimize the impact on my system resources. But this is another one that is good for um, anyone. I think it's inside of the United States, New York, and it is in the. Let me pull it up here real quickly. It's a competition for food and agriculture innovation. So Grow New York is an unprecedented food and agriculture business competition. So it's $1 million top prize. That was one thing that I liked about it. $3 million total. So $1 million grand prize, two $500,000 prizes, four $250,000 prizes. And they give you like coaching and support. So you're not just, hey, I got this money. One of the things that I did notice though is that you're basically signing over some interest in the company. It looked like to Cornell University. So there's, some major sponsorship behind it, but they can help the right companies, grow and scale beyond belief. So I thought that that was really interesting. Not limited to not limited to just New York, really open for organizations. That's that one.
Did I lose you? Awesome. Well, Shanna's frozen, but
Maybe.
so I'll just continue. Oh, there you are. Are you back? So I did go to the
Maybe.
yeah, maybe you're back. I did go to the grant that you posted last week, which was the SBWCI, I think it was CL, something for the children's literature. They actually had a few different grants going on in there. So I have to finish going through it. There's a couple that I qualified to apply for. But the other thing that was really cool is it has a whole community there for writers and stuff. So that was really exciting. I joined the community, and so it will just help me on my own little journey there. But that was fun. So I'm excited to see what happens from that, I mean, there was like writers awards and all that stuff. And as much as I keep saying, I don't want to be a best-selling author, you know, I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't be mad about it, Shanna. So thank you for that. That was fun and exciting. And it just got me just even more excited because it's more resources, right? So,
Yeah.
but you know, that's also one of the things that I would share, just going into my money minute, how Katie was talking earlier about, you know, doing what you're passionate about. When I think about my year that I've started my publishing journey and how far I've come in a year, I mean, I have almost 400 books in a year. I'd say that's passion, right? It's more than one a day. I'd say that's pretty passionate. No one was bugging me to create books. And what happened from that is all these other resources keep showing up as I'm just becoming more aware and doing more of the work. So you just have to get started somewhere. One of the conversations I have with our kids, even though it irritates my husband sometimes, though, is how do you know if you're going to like it if you just don't get started? Like, it's okay if you decide you don't like it, but you're never going to know if you don't just get started. It's not about failing. It's about learning and growing. So that's tonight's show. Anything you want to add, Shanna, before we wrap it up?
Nope. That's
all right.
Good.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much, everyone who joined us. Make sure you reach out to Katie, see if you can get some money. And we'll see you all. And as Katie said, y'all, I love that. I always want to say y'all after spending time with you guys. We'll see y'all next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Do something today that will help you better your business. See if Katie can give you some money. We'll see you soon.
Our goal is simple: to help you achieve the dream and vision you first had when you thought about starting a business. We're here to make growing your business less complicated. There are building blocks to build a sustainable business. We promise to seek them out and address them all. The Better Your Business Show starts now.